I've gotten to a point in life where seeing other people happy fills me with so much joy. And before anybody else, Justice, wait, so beforehand you didn't like to see other people happy? That's precisely what I mean, peasant. The only thing that brought a smile to my face in this world was pain, destruction, and absolute chaos! Anyways, let's get into the video. Gaming as of recently has followed a very interesting pattern. This pattern is a resurgence, or a revival, if you will, of 5th generation games. Games that started off on the N64, the PlayStation original. Think of games like the Tony Hawk series. Think of games like Resident Evil, Animal Crossing, or even Final Fantasy. And yes, I am aware that Final Fantasy started on the NES, but, you know, in the Western Hemisphere, a lot of people know about Final Fantasy mainly through FF7, which, of course, when it first released was a PlayStation exclusive. Now, think about these games for a second. Tony Hawk, Resident Evil, Animal Crossing, all those games from that generation in particular, either these games have had some sort of remake in recent years, or one of the games has just skyrocketed the series into absolute popularity. Mainstream popularity, I should say. And it is very interesting for me to think about. The 5th generation of gaming isn't the generation that I'm particularly well versed on. The 6th generation was mainly my field and introduction into gaming. But a lot of these series have been, you know, mainstays of the gaming community for many generations at this point, many years, many decades. It's very interesting to see, and it warms my heart to witness so many older gamers, you know, talk about their memories with these games, especially these games that are still in circulation. I'm playing through the Tony Hawk series right now. I started playing those games when I was a kid on the PlayStation 2. But originally it started on the PlayStation original with the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. I've never played those games. I only went through the PlayStation 2 games, through the PlayStation 3 games, some of the PlayStation 4 games, until current day. And I mean, these are games that came out, the PlayStation 1 games came out in the 90s, so like 30 years ago. And it's very interesting to see a game in its infancy. You know, every game has a fandom, and every fandom has its, you know, little quirks, little inside jokes, and you can see the beginning mechanics of what would become mainstays of the series. I'll never forget the first time I heard of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, and seeing that the first level was this level called Warehouse. And in the fandom, that is a completely iconic map for all the players, because that was the first thing that they were ever introduced to. Whereas for me, coming up with American Wasteland, Underground, the PlayStation 2 era, I was like, bro, that's a secret unlockable level on one of the games. I ain't know people like this map. I ain't know nothing about it. You know, it's very interesting. I'm playing through Pro Skater 2 right now, and I'm seeing homages to things that were referenced in later games that I had no clue were references, or maps in games that I had no clue were spin-offs of maps in games that I played growing up. I was like, oh, it started from here. This was the birth of all of these, you know, ideas. And, you know, it really hit me, and I was thinking to myself, yo, this is what gaming is really all about. I was sat there and I was reading comments from people who left these like over 10 years ago, and hearing their fondness and memories of playing these games. And when you finally take a step back and look, every single game is kind of like, every single franchise is kind of like its own planet, its own language, And when you start playing a game, it's like you're ever so slowly morphing yourself into understanding that language. Because, I mean, when you first hop into a fandom or first start playing a game, they're throwing out call outs and stuff. They're naming people who are like legends in the community and stuff, and you have no clue what's going on. Fast forward a year later, you're all like, hey, yeah, I know this guy, Andy THPS, shout to Flippy, and, Adventure Andy, all those guys. And you're like, how the hell did I learn about all these people? I had no clue who they were a few months ago. The Resident Evil series is a game series that I've recently fallen in love with. I think I started picking up the games in around like 2019, 2018, somewhere around there. And, I've just beasted through a bunch of games in the series since then. And it's always so lovely to hear people who've been with the series since, PS2, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, or even PlayStation 3 days talk about their memories with the games. It's always just so sweet to hear everybody recounting, I was a kid when I first played these games. Now I'm an adult and they're remaking one of my favorite games of all time. Just like, yo, that is so cool. I truthfully do wonder what that feeling's like. I was actually going to tweet this out because I did notice this, trend of recreating or this resurgence of 5th generation games. And I think that's kind of a cycle. They might have done that with the 4th generation of gaming. I said, don't ask me. I don't know nothing about that. I don't even know what consoles the 4th generation was, boy. But I was like, maybe the 6th generation's up next. I'm gonna be honest. There isn't a game series that I wish to come back or remakes come out or like a resurgence in popularity besides Dead Rising. I'm gonna need Capcom like, I'm enjoying Resident Evil 4 right now. I'm still playing through it, but like, what's up with Dead Rising, boy? I'm like, y'all just left that game out to die and y'all just haven't touched it. I'm like, my favorite game of all time is a game on the PlayStation 2 called Thrillville Off the Rails, and I made a video about it, and after I posted that video, I started watching other people play that game on YouTube, something I haven't done in years. And someone I grew up watching back in the day was this guy called Ray Narvaez Jr. And it was my gosh, I'm getting giddy actually thinking about this. It was so weird because in the video I said, in my Thrillville video, I said, I've never heard anybody talk about this game ever. I don't know anybody who even knows of this game's existence besides my cousin, who actually, speaking about Tony Hawk, I think I got into Tony Hawk because of my cousin as well. My cousin, shout out to him. He used to have a Game Boy, and I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 or Pro Skater 2 on the Game Boy, but obviously those play differently compared to the home console versions. Anyway, where was I getting at? Oh, okay, Ray playing my favorite game of all time. And it was like, yo, I love Thrillville back then. I was like, what, bitch, what? No way you played Thrillville. And then he was like jamming out to the soundtracks. Like, Thrillville soundtrack legitimately shaped who I, like, my whole entire freaking... like, everything about me was shaped through Thrillville, and to see somebody else talk about it and be like, yo, I used to play this game when I was a kid, I was like, no, what the fuck? It was so sweet to see him jamming out to the game, enjoying himself playing the game. And it was like this feels weird because he is what, like 10 years, 11 years older than me, but I felt I'm laughing because, the way I cut off that laugh was insane. But I'm laughing because of the next sentence I'm about to come out. I talk really fast, and my brain is working in overdrive. But so I was out. Speak. Okay, so I was laughing because I was going to say he is like 11 years older than me. But seeing him enjoy a game from my childhood and talk about it with such fondness, I felt like a dad watching my child play a game that I grew up playing. Jesus Christ, Evie. Oh my God. these are just some thoughts that I had while playing and having some experiences with games and stuff. Like, I'm just really happy right now and currently just... This is a level of joy I haven't had since I can't even... Like, since I was a kid, mate. And, you know... Gaming is just... really cool. Anyways, it's been Justice. I'll see you guys later. Peace.